So tonight I have been requested to speak about Dharma. Something like prescribed duties. It's not extremely popular, the subject, in current day and age, because somebody prescribes and somebody is supposed to follow. So we have prescribed duties and we have concocted duties. We also have neglected duties. Misunderstood duties. The secret of prescribed duties is that you accept the prescription as a blessing. If you do not accept the prescription as a blessing, then it will be very hard to execute your duty. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is facing certain difficulties with his prescribed duties. He's arguing. No, my lord, this is too much. You're asking a bit too much from me. Look, they're my family members. It's okay that they did something wrong, I agree, but fighting against them, destroying the family tradition, Krishna. And Krishna's getting heavy. He's saying, you're lamenting for something which is not worthy of lamentation. And this is a very tough subject when we're talking about the prescribed duty of defending the innocent up to the point of taking active, aggressive involvement. The love and peace movement is not fired up about the idea. But the common sense is quite agreeable. Everybody would go and defend somebody who's in need of defense. Everybody would. Everybody would risk his own neck when it comes to save his children, for example. But what is the prescribed duty? Actually, in the Mahabharata, there's one very peculiar story in this regard, which we recently made into a children's book. It's the story that somebody had to be sacrificed to a demon. Because the demon had said, if you're not giving me one family, I don't remember, every month, then I will come and create havoc and kill as many as I like. So they were frightened, and then every month one family had to sacrifice themselves and go to the forest at the edge of the village, and the demon would come and eat them. In this way, life was going on until one day the Pandavas came to this village. And they just stood in the house where somebody was crying. And they were asking, why are you crying? Oh, because it is our term of being sacrificed. Because our family, they said, Bhima said, what is this? What that system? Oh, they said, in order to save a family, you have to sacrifice a person. In order to sacrifice a village, you have to sacrifice a family. In order to save a country, you have to sacrifice a whole village. And in order to save yourself, you have to sacrifice the entire world. So that was the moral teaching of this. of the Mahabharata. Dharma at its maximum. Sacrificing your life for somebody else. That type of Dharma is not easy to find. But you see, when the young boys and girls, they're recruited to the army, they're sent with singing songs into their death. So somehow the concept of sacrificing yourself for something, it is noticeably present within us. But if it's not under the proper guidance, that may also be a nonsense. So Bhima said, you don't worry this time. Why? I will go and meet this demon. So the custom was that the demon was going to be supplied an entire carriage full of food. And the family who was bringing them. And he would eat the food and eat the family, eat everything. So Bhima said, you don't worry, you send me alone with the food. So they sent him out to the edge of the village where the demon used to come, and Bhima started to eat all the food. And when he was almost finishing with the food, the demon came and says, who dared to eat my food? And Bhima said, it's me. What do you mean, who dared to? And then with his great prowess and power he had, Bhima just killed the demon and the problem was solved once for all. Strange demons are there in this world, I tell you. Unfortunately, nowadays the demons, they sit in laboratories and in 5-star hotels and make decisions how many people they want to sacrifice for speculating with their latest GM crops, chemical contamination of the environment and so. But I don't think they're less monster than the guy who was eating the people there. It's really, there's very, very many nasty people in this world. So we have to sacrifice something to protect the others. At least that's my understanding of prescribed duties. Then the question is how to do that. Now that's another question which is very good to ask. And the answer is by love. So I was asked today to speak about prescribed duties and to speak about love. So the prescribed duties which we have to follow, which we have to kind of accomplish something to help the innocent, the oppressed, that prescribed duty, it can only be done by love. Forget about violent rebellion. This is the most stupid thing to do. You know why? Because that's the business of the weapon industry. They want you to fight. As soon as fighting goes on, it's big business for them. So therefore, even if you have somebody to defend nowadays, you have to go through the way of love and boycott. Nothing else. You have to know who you want to support with your money and your time. Every time you buy something in the market, you're supporting something. Every time you go shopping, you're making a political statement. And if you don't look what's the ingredients on your items, and I heard that some people even still, after so many years of talking, still wash their bodies with dead animals. Can you imagine that? How can you wash your body with a dead animal? Or with a product tested on animals, means torturing thousands of animals so that your product will be very refined. Of course, I heard that the European market actually prohibited that products now are sold which are tested on animals. I don't know if that actually took place. Anybody can report on that? Did they remove many products from the shelves, or what happened?
It's forbidden now.
Huh?
Animal testing for cosmetics is forbidden by all over the European
Yes.
Union.
So they cannot sell anything which was tested.
No more testing.
Huh?
Die machen das trotzdem bloß unter einem anderen Namen.
And now let's not get into it too much deeply involved right now. But anybody who buys something, some product, health product, which is not vegan approved, is careless. These products, they do exist. Fortunately, the vegan science for many products like this has become quite developed, so it's definitely possible to get these things. And if you don't care for that, that means you don't care for the animals either. You're not a conscious consumer. So it's just one teeny little thing of duty. To be a conscious consumer is your duty, because as you consume, you spell out an approval of a market, an approval of a certain type of conduct. I didn't want to even get there. I just wanted to say that the prescribed duties, helping others, protecting others, it's definitely part of a developed consciousness. And therefore in the Vedas it has been taught that. But it had said, in order to save yourself, you have to sacrifice the whole world. That means you have to sacrifice your egotism. That is the real topic, the tough topic of spirituality. In order to save yourself, you have to sacrifice all the involvement with the world, which is illusion, which is nonsense, which is not helpful. It's not easy. It's a big sacrifice. But what can you say? The sacrifice is a sacrifice. You have to make the point clear. And also, the maximum endeavor of yourself will be exerted from you. Is that thing on? I don't hear it. I think someone wants to choke me here. Right? Open this. I have no oxygen. I'm going to faint any moment. Oxygen conspiracy. To sacrifice yourself for somebody's well-being. That is the maximum degree of duty. And that is expected from every fireman and from every policeman. In the daily execution of his duty, there's crime, you call the police, they're supposed to come. Even though it's dangerous to come when there's crime. And to firefight, how many firefighters have lost their life trying to save people from the fire? So it's something real, it's not something out from another planet. Something right from this planet in here. And therefore a bhakti yogi, somebody who is on the path of love, for his love, for his appreciation of others, he should be ready to die. If that's necessary. But it's not necessary generally. Really hardly ever. But you have to let your ego stuff die. Something has to die. It's called die to live, or living try to spread the holy name around. Die to live. Can you imagine this concept of dying to live? If you want to live in the world of matter, you die in the world of spirit. If you want to live in the world of spirit, you have to die in the world of matter. Tough, tough, tough. And what does it mean to die in the world of matter? It simply means that you have to make Krishna the enjoyer of everything you do. Matter is only matter because of you. As soon as matter comes in contact with Krishna, it becomes Balaram. That's why the Mridanga is called Balaram. The Shringa sun is called Balaram. The Arctic paraphernalia is called Balaram. Everything becomes, even this microphone is now Balaram. Strange Balaram form, But that's what the Vedas teach us. The cloud of illusion is covering your eyes. It's not covering the truth. Nothing can ever cover the truth. It's not possible. So you have to accept that the question of dying in matter simply means dying to misuse matter for some silly material things. Come a little closer, there's more space here, everywhere. Come on, Gina. More. Yamuna, come. So, die to live. Because last but not least, we die physically anyway, but die to live means that there is some life beyond death. Beyond the death of egotism is the life of joy, the life of service divine. Die to live means to kill that mentality which is so indifferent and exploitative. There are certain things like that. There's big demons inside of you, and Krishna is known for killing demons. So he can kill the demon of envy, greed, lust, anger, harshness, deceit, hypocrisy. He can come in. He can knock over this mentality. All you have to do is invite Krishna in his form of Parshuram to come inside of you and kick out everything unfortunately. You can also invite Lord Nrsingadev. You can also invite Lord Chaitanya. Only he kicks out everything and kills everything by chanting. So in this age of Kali Yuga, the best way of encounter with the sweet calling of the Absolute is the calling of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. We are all parts of the Absolute. But what is our relationship with the Absolute? What is our prescribed duty in regards to the Absolute? Mother has prescribed duties with children. Regular feeding. Nowadays, modern days, if any mother can be found guilty of putting her life, the health of the child in danger, then the Jugendamt comes, says, sorry, Mrs., this child will be taken in for proper safety and care. And she said, but this is my child. It may be your child, but you didn't take care properly. You put the child in danger by neglecting to feed it or to doing this or that. prescribed duties. You don't know what you have until you lose it. I met one couple, they lost their children like this. They were always taking drugs, they were irresponsible, and the Jugendamt came and they saw the children were dirty, neglected, and simply they took them away. And both of the parents went bananas, but they never recovered their children. So prescribed duties is something, even in the material world, it's known. You don't do your job right, you lose your job. Like husband and wife, that's a big prescribed duty. If you do your job right, then you deserve something good to happen. If you don't do your job nice, no guarantee can be given. So this is like the prescribed duty is, according to the Vedic philosophy, always something very caring and very loving. Every prescribed duty, and where there's no love and care, there is nobody can stay for a long time. That's why people have a hard time in the material world to stay anywhere, because there's no real love and care. What to speak of tenderness? Maybe you have heard about this. This is called the TLC medicine. It's called tender love and care. If that medicine is administered, then most likely things will work out. Jai. Most likely everything will work out. But without tender love and care, our situation will always end up in a very frustrated state. So Dharma also has to be executed with tender love and care. Dharma is not just I did it. I do it every day. How you feel about it? Horrible. How you treat the people you're relating to? Superficial. No. That was not your Dharma. That was a concocted Dharma. The real Dharma starts with Krishna, goes on with the Guru, and then it goes on towards anybody else. We are trained up that our Dharma is to compete. You got to be faster. You got to spend more. You got to sleep more. You got to be, like, always try to be on top of the others. That's why people, the more money they have, the less they want to work. Until they become members of the jet set. Some people dream of that. I'm dreaming of the day that others will work and I will just enjoy. That day will be so nice. I don't have to worry anymore. Everybody's sweating and I'm just doing good. So in this way, the way you execute your duties is so important. It's exactly where Bhakti Yoga comes in. It's exactly what devotional service means. Devotional service cannot mean imposed duties. That's why the temple president What a job he has. He has to engage the people lovingly. He has to get them to some or other agree. Yes, I will do it. Some or other agree. In the temple, everything has to be done tender love and care. Even washing the bathroom. Can you please lovingly wash the bathroom? Me? How can I do that? As soon as we have to do something we don't like to do, then we have all kinds of resistance to this, no? Finally we do it, but like with tension. But real tender love and care, real prescribed duties, is that which you are executing simply because you love to do it. You want to do it. You want to give. What you want to give? Well, if you really want to give something, you have to give your heart. And what degree and in what way do you give your heart? That will be decided by Krishna. Actually, Krishna knows what it means to give yourself with love, to sacrifice the whole world, to save yourself. Sacrifice all the egotism, all the nonsense, all the lies in the world, just to live for you, my Lord. Just like you cannot give any poison to your child, right? If I give you some poison, say, listen, give this poison to the child. It's covered by sugar, it's delicious. Are you crazy? You want me to give poison to my child? Are you really crazy? I'm going to call the police. No, okay. I give you another pill. This has half the poison only. Give this to your child. Half the poison? You mean you want me to give poison to my child? What are you thinking? Who the hell you are? Okay. You are just a far out guy. Okay, give me this pill. I give you a pill which only has a quarter of the poison. But this one you will give, right? And again. So you are refusing. You don't want to give any poison to your child. Is that so? Well, if you feel like that, you better start non-chemical agriculture. You better start to be conscious about everything you feed your children, all these pills and all that stuff. It's all poison. And we are living in a poisoning society. It's a world full of poisoning. It's amazing. Some people voluntarily poison themselves, some people involuntarily, but there's poisoning going on everywhere, all the time. Plastic planet, the whole place, we are poisoning. And some people say, no, we are poisoning a little bit only. But poisoning is poisoning. The prescribed duties here is a change of lifestyle. A total change of lifestyle. Mahesh Bhatt, a famous Indian movie maker, he made a movie called Poison on Your Platter, showing that our food today is just poison and has so much suffering on a simple plate. Suffering, immense suffering. And you're not aware of that immense suffering. You're not aware. In most cases. Therefore, when you speak to somebody who's eating meat and you say, do you realize that by killing meat, eating meat, you're killing children? Do you realize that? No, I'm not killing any children. Yes, by eating meat, you're killing children. You're depriving, starving, dying children of their food by supporting an industry where the grains are fed to just make animals fed for your meat consumption, and those grains could be eaten by those starving kids and nobody would take any harm. On the contrary, you'll be better off by eating vegetarian as well. So this is a reality of our world today, and prescribed duty means you cannot tolerate that. We cannot be silent. That's why I say we should keep distributing to every single person we meet at least one of those reminding papers which we have, and request them to hang them up. We have to bombard this world with conscious messages. Why? Because they are bombarded by the opposite. They are bombarded by all this advertisement, eating meat, doing this, doing that, smoking, drinking, and thousands of other derivatives of that type of same mentality. And if we are not speaking out lovingly, conscientiously, awakingly, if we don't do that, we are guilty of silence towards the crime. If a crime is done in front of your face, you notice it, you see it, and you do not protest about the crime, you become a silent witness responsible of that. I don't know what the judge would say if somebody would say, this child was killed. Yes. And you were there. Yes. And you saw it. Yes. And you did not do nothing. Yes. Why? I was busy. I was afraid. Tough situation, no? But we are talking about prescribed duties, so why shouldn't it be tough? The whole Bhagavad Gita is a tough subject. The whole decision of human form of life is a tough subject. And loving is the solution. So, if you see something like that, if you notice there's something which can be improved, something which you can do, then why not do it? So I request, Shanket, where are you? I request you to start injecting in an imposing, lovingly way to all our conscientious activists to move this subject matter, which you know what I'm talking about. Because that has not been done in our Berlin Yatra. And since we are following the principle of Mafalda, if you know what that means, means Mafalda didn't want to eat her soup, so she got 2 cups. Sometimes we have to take more engagement and more participation that our brothers and sisters are protected. I am serious about this. I'm just saying that to Shankar because I know she does what I say, and that will be done, and that will be a great impact. Otherwise, no impact, no nothing. I mean, Gora Shakti is supposed to be the revolutionary of the animal defense movement, but after he wrote this little paper 25 years ago, I never seen another thing from him. Huh? I don't know what the heck are we doing for the animals. For the animals and for so many victims of our negligent lifestyle. And I'm really sick of it. I hear people, I eat meat because I like it. Okay, you like it, so we give you gluten. We have good stuff for you to eat. You don't need to eat your brothers and sisters, you're poor. I mean, this is the thing. Do you accept prescribed duties or not? Or you just say, no, I'm just closing my eyes, say, Om, let the world go to hell. Om, let the world go to hell. I have nothing to do with it. I don't believe in that yoga, I must tell you, you know. This is this commercial bogus yogi. If you want to be part of this world, well, try to be a little bit like Mahatma Gandhi at least. At least in your environment. Otherwise, you have no right to talk about prescribed duties. Cannot take the Bhagavad Gita and say, hey, this is a nice book, well, getting air, you know. No. Prescribed duty is the struggle of Arjuna for justice, for joy, for upliftment of the downtrodden. People say this guy belongs to the Vaishnava theology of liberation. You know, in the Christian movement, there was after Puebla, Council of Puebla, there was a movement in South America of Christian priests becoming social revolutionaries to improve society. And of course they were kicked out from the church. Because as a priest you have no business to improve the social justice. I met many of them, Elder Camara and others from Nicaragua. Good people. But unfortunately, they didn't catch the essence of the vegetarianism. And what is the hoax of social justice? As long as you don't stop the killing of the animals. I say the unnecessary killing of the animals because there may be some emergencies. We don't want to be the absolute fanatics here like lunatics. And then they're going to say, oh, what is it? You're just making silly proposals. No. It's not a silly proposal. This is a question of survival of the planet, my dear. Go into it deeply. Look at the mathematics. If you're a yogi, if you are somebody who loves this world, loves Mother Earth, loves your brothers and sisters, well, then at least speak out. At least be part of communicating these type of substantial messages which are coming from the Bhagavad Gita. Because the Bhagavad Gita says, Patam pushpam phalam toyam yume bhaktya pranashyati. Krishna says, you offer me only vegetarian stuff and with love. If you don't offer it with love, I won't accept it. Even if it's vegetarian, if you don't offer it with love, don't bother me. So this TLC principle is coming right from the Bhagavad Gita. Tender love and care. There's no slaughterhouse in tender loving care principles. So in other words, when we are talking about prescribed duties, we have to find out what are our prescribed duties today. Are you feeding your children with poison? Are you ignoring all the good informations you have received? Oh, it's so bothersome. How can I do this? How can I change for organic? Well, we have to change to organic altogether. We have to go to the farmers around the city, says, we want to buy your food organically. We're going to buy it all together. We have enough people. We have 100 people. Now you grow. We'll pay you. No more stupid shopping malls. supermarkets which destroy the quality of food and poison our children. Making all this European market hoax. Nobody knows what is bio, what is not bio, because nobody knows who grows that stuff. It just becomes a market slogan. I know what I'm saying is not so easy to put into practice, but let's do it. Let's do it. Let's put it. That's why I like Sriram and Yamuna, because when you go there, you see, hey, all the stuff they grow there. When you go to Eco-Truly Park, or if you go to the places where they actually grow their own food. It simply means here, Madhava is a very good example of growing your own food and growing it for others too. So it's not something which never happened and you can never see it. No, but you have to go and support. You have to make an effort, a conscientious effort. And I don't say these things for the sake of criticizing. I say these things for the sake of not poisoning our children. Sit down, Prabhu. So I'm asking you very sincerely from the core of my heart, you embrace your Dharma, and with love you are going to help all those who are in ignorance. They are all our friends, all the meat eaters, all the Monsanto employees, all of these people, they are all our friends. They are all very, those who are involved in the sinful activities, they are even more needed. They are in the greatest need to be enlivened and to be saved. And it's very difficult to give up a business which makes good money at the cost of others. Many things are very difficult to accomplish, but one thing we have to have clear in our prescribed duties. This is a path of love. And we will win this battle only with love. Nothing else. But we will not win it with inactivity. We have to be at least conscientious communicators and good examples. And I'm a traveler, you know. I am not long time enough in Berlin to organize anything. But if I'd be in Berlin, I tell you, I'd be organizing these things. Anywhere I go, anywhere I would be, I would definitely organize these things to the best of my capacity. So I humbly request you also to make prescribed duties your living task. And the messengers of that, they are called the Chaskis of the World Conscious Pact. And you'll hear more about them in the future, because we'll promote them. All those who are artists, all those who are musicians, all those who have messages of love, sign up with Shanket and with Gita Manjari. And we are going to promote your music in one way or another, and your theater, your drama, your publications. We're going to help promoting them so that people will see we are not all a bunch of nerds who have no idea and no capacity of observing how our life and our whole world is going down the drain due to our own wrong behavior. I know you are all vegetarians. I know you are all a step far ahead of just being ignorant in here. I know that, and I have high respect for you. But still, don't take offense when I say we don't do even a fraction of what we can. And how wonderful it would be if people like you coming up to people say, for the sake of my brother animals, become a vegetarian. Here's an invitation to our vegetarian club, and to our vegetarian cooking course and to our eco-yoga village tours. You please come. I'll be there. This nice girl, she's going to be there and inviting me to such a wonderful thing. Now you may say that to 100 people and only 2 come. But it's worth speaking to 100 for those 2. You have to understand, it's a communication of the 2, maybe 1 becomes a messenger of love. We cannot go, but if we don't communicate, if we don't do this, well, then we don't know what prescribed duties are. It is the prescribed duty of the knowledgeable to inform the ignorant. Agreed or not? I want your vote now. Anybody with you who agrees that it's a duty of the knowledgeable to inform the ignorant of things which are harmful for him, who agrees on this principle, please lift your hands. Well, if just you who lift the hands try your best, we already got a lot accomplished. If only you who now lifted your hand voluntarily, I didn't bribe you. Nobody knew this voting was. Did you lift your hand? Yeah. Then it is your duty to inform others of what they are doing wrong. And inform them with love. Don't get on their case. Don't choke them. Just say, my friend, I love you so much. Will you please consider what you're eating and what you're feeding your children? Should not kill other children. Because your children will become very unhappy when they find out that you've fed them at the cost of killing other children. That's disgusting, isn't it? And some children, they really feel it. They, wow. It's time to wake up. Nobody today can say, when I was a child, nobody knew about the dangers of meat eating. Well, I wouldn't say nobody, but it was not spread. It was not discussed. Nothing. I was the number 1 ignorant person about the subject of meat eating. So if somebody is ignorant about it, then why you complain? But if somebody is ignorant and you are not ignorant and you are not informing him in a decent way, then we can complain about you. I've made my case for tonight. Thank you so much. My love, my respect to all of you. Do what has to be done, and you'll see the difference in front of your eyes. When I went to Bogota, Colombia, some 35 years ago, there was only 1 vegetarian restaurant in the city. Today, there's hundreds. Everywhere, people want to eat vegetarian now. Well, there was a work of 30 years of spreading vegetarianism. People can change their ideas when they get informed. But if they never get informed. Any question? Yes?
I just wanted to add something to what you said. When I was back home with my father, they had one little discussion because his daughter was also like in a Buddhistic movement, something like this. And then the first thing that actually, my father is atheist, said to his friend, he said, yeah, she's also one that wants to change the world only by praying. So actually, this is the thing that should motivate us also, I think, like doing something for the world to show the atheists that we just don't want to pray and happy with the world, but we do also more for the surroundings. Because actually it was the first credits that they give us. Yeah, you just want to change the world by praying.
Mm-hmm. First of all, just to think about changing the world is a fantastic idea. But the first one you have to change is yourself. And praying is a very bona fide process for changing the world, but Mahaprabhu was so kind to take the prayer out in the streets, in the public, so that everybody can listen to it. And besides that, we don't pray all the day. We also have so many interactions with society. And in those interactions, we can be messengers of all these wonderful things. My spiritual master, he was speaking in innumerable occasions to people that they should become real followers of the fifth commandment. He said that again and again. You want to be successful in your spiritual life, but it says, thou shalt not kill, but you are killing. So how can you get the benefit of being a Christian? Jai Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.